I'm Mike.
And I'm Josh.
And this is NFGeeks. All right, well, Josh, welcome once again back to NFGeeks.
Yes.
I'd like to welcome you aboard. Josh is going to be our NFGeeks ENFJ correspondent. So you'll be seeing Josh again and again. All right, well, Josh, if you remember, or if you've seen, Angela and I did an episode about dreams. I think we did 2 episodes, actually, about dreams. That was very popular, with the NFs at least. And so I'd like to know if we could talk about that, or if you can talk about your perspective on dreams and dreams you've had, and try to relate it to NF stuff and ENFJ.
Yeah. I'm really fascinated by dreams, and I actually I got really into lucid dreaming, and I went about teaching myself how to do it. I did a lot of reading up on it and stuff. So I really like dreams. Dreams interest me a lot.
Oh, great. Can you give any kind of examples of lucid dreaming?
Yeah, sure. Lucid dreaming, basically, for people who don't know what it is, it's kind of like when you kind of get yourself to stay awake during your dreams, and you when you get really good at it, you can almost interact with your dreams.
Okay.
So,
do you have an example of that, personally?
Sure, yeah. I was able to do it. You kind of just have to, there's ways of reading about how you go about doing it, but I used to do it frequently, and you just kind of almost hypnotize yourself.
Okay.
Before you go to sleep.
Yeah, give us the process. What do you specifically do?
And
when do you do it?
It says that you need a trigger word or a phrase.
Really?
So something you kind of, as you're laying down, you say over and over again before you fall asleep, and then you just fall asleep saying that, and then you kind of wake up. You kind of wake up in your dream. You're conscious in your dream, basically, is the goal. Okay. And at first, you're kind of just conscious during it, and you're just going through your dream. But as you get better at it, or as I got better at it, I was actually able to think and interact. And the best way I could explain it is you're kind of a first person and a third person at the same time.
Oh wow!
So as I'm here in my chair talking to you, having my experience from this point of view, I'm also up here somewhere watching it at the same time, experiencing it at the same time, controlling it and watching it at the same time.
Wow. All right, I want to go back to the trigger word for a minute. What kind of word? What do you you just say it could be any word? It could be...
They have recommended things if you read on it I will remember my dream. You can say that over again. I will control my dream.
Okay, so it's not just some kind of random cantaloupe or something.
No. It's like a control. You're forcing your brain to think about being conscious during dreaming.
I've only had one moment of lucid dreaming, because I don't lucid dream. Whatever, it doesn't matter what's going on in the dream. Okay, I just totally believe it's real. It could be Abraham Lincoln on a Tyrannosaurus. It's absolutely happening.
So it's going down.
It's going down. This is real. I'm there. One time, the only lucid dream I remember, it was a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, maybe longer. I was in my bedroom, and I was doing something in the bedroom, and I said to myself, wait a minute, am I actually in my bedroom, or is this a dream? I think I'm having a dream. And I said, all right, well, here's what I'll do. I'll look out the window, and if it's normal, then I know I'm not dreaming. And I look out the window, and it was my backyard, but it was like a negative image. You know, when you get that color image and you switch all the colors. That's what I saw out the window, and I said, "Oh, this is a dream." And then I woke up. That was as close as I got to a lucid dream.
That's why you need totems.
Yeah, apparently. All right. So what? So can you give us an example, a specific example of a dream that you had where you were lucid dreaming? Something really memorable.
Sure. There was one time where I remember that it was after I watched a soccer game. Mm-hmm. And so I was I always wanted to be a pro soccer player, Portuguese. So, I wanted to, have a dream like that. So I, had the dream, and then I kind of was okay, I want to be a soccer player now. And so then I was, a soccer player, and I was, doing moves in my head and stuff. And
in the dream?
In the dream.
Oh, wow.
Scored a goal.
Oh, that's wonderful. Was there anything weird going on in the dream? Were you playing against robots or anything? I mean, was it just, a real...
No, it was, a real game. Real people, real crowd.
Wow.
There was all kinds of famous people in the crowd. I suppose the one weird thing was I put like video game characters and stuff like that I like in the crowd too.
Oh, that's great. Like who?
Like they were part of like the VIP. Like you know how like in Lakers games or whatever, there's always like stars.
Yeah, like
on,
Jack Nicholson.
Yeah,
or something,
he's always
right?
on like front court. Like I had like VIP boxes with like Megatron in it. So like that was probably the only weird thing. But like I had a lot of other like celebrities. I had family there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever had a nightmare with lucid dreaming, or any kind of where you started lucid dreaming in the nightmare or anything like that?
Like a lucid dream gone wrong?
Yeah, perhaps.
Not particularly. I think in the beginning, when you're not that good at it, and you just kind of have to go with the flow of your dream, they're kind of like, oh, like, why is this happening? I don't want this or something. But it was never really anything bad. It was just like unexpected things or whatever. Just like, okay, I'm going to go with this. I'm going to see how it goes. But it was never anything bad. I've never had like nightmares. The only time I have nightmares is when I just dream naturally.
Ah, and you don't have the lucid dreaming.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into some of the meaning of these dreams then. What do you think is the meaning of some of the dreams that you have, especially when there's lucid dreaming going on?
Dream meaning. I think I have difficulty with dream meaning.
Oh, that's great.
Because I believe in like meaning in dreams, but sometimes I don't know if it's my dreams are trying to tell me something, like NF powers.
Sure.
Or if it's just my dreams come from my consciousness, so it's something that I already know that I'm just trying to like retell myself. So maybe there's not really a message. It's just me telling myself something I want to hear or something.
All right.
So I have trouble with the meanings of dreams sometimes.
Well, I always think that dreams actually do have meanings. When I teach psychology, I always talk about that. And that one point of view is, this is mostly from cognitive psychology, that dreams are like problem-solving reality simulators. Even if it's bananas, okay, what's going on. But the problem in the dreams is a real-life problem. How do I get away? How do I get out? How do I solve this? How do I make this work for me? Whatever it is. And so you're practicing to problem solve. And what they would say is like a recurring dream is a problem that you have in the real world that you haven't solved yet. Sure. And then when you solve it, in the real world, the recurring dream stops.
Sure. And
you go away. The Freudian view is that the dream is your unconscious mind trying to communicate some kind of wishful thinking as a part of desires that the unconscious mind wants. So it's representing what the unconscious mind may want, what it needs in terms of its psychosexual desires and all that. But at the same time, it's not reality. It's a wishful thinking. The unconscious mind would love to have a harem, would love to punch, your enemy in the face, whatever it is. So it's not necessarily, it's a little less useful. I don't want to say useful because it brings up issues. But under that interpretation, it's not necessarily something you want to actually do. Yeah. Okay, so if you punch somebody in the face...
It's like a way of having the experience without the consequences.
Yes, sort of. And then you sort of process, well, why do I want to punch someone in the face? Why do I want to harem? Why do I, and then you do that through psychoanalytic therapy. But if you fulfill the id and you punch the guy in the face, that's not necessarily good. So you're not getting... So it's a little less truth going on that level of interpretation. Okay. I also think that you're interacting with the world, and it goes back and forth between the two worlds. So in other words, something in the real world affects the dream, and then the dream in turn affects the way you interact with the world. You do something different because of the dream or whatever, and that then changes into another dream. And so there's this sort of mutual causality that I think goes on between dreams and reality. All right, so let's interpret one of your dreams then. Why don't you give us a dream, and we'll try to interpret it.
Sure. Do you want like a natural dream?
You mean as opposed to a lucid dream?
Sure.
Sure. It can be natural.
Okay. I remember one time, this one specifically sticks out, because I remember I wrote it down.
Oh, wow, that's very weird. Yes, and you should do that. You should have a dream journal and write it all down.
Yeah, especially,
that's a good idea.
That's what you actually need to do for lucid dreaming.
Oh, really?
When you want to, especially if there's a dream you want to re-enter, you should like write the details down so that way you can think about them as you trigger word. Yeah. To jump back into that.
That's dream. Great. I'm going to remember that.
But okay, yeah, there was a dream where like I was running through my house, and there was like a serial killer after me. Oh, yeah. And there was like certain like people there, and I didn't know why they were in my house. Like I knew who they were. They were like friends of mine or whatever. But I was like, oh, why are you here too? Like, you gotta run, dude. There's a killer after me. He's probably gonna kill you too. And so we were just running through my house. And running through my house, which where I lived at the time, it was like an apartment, so it's not very big. So I had no idea why running through my house took so long. Like, I was just running through rooms, and they were so long, and then the serial killer was after me. And
Wow.
I just couldn't figure out why. And he would say, like, weird phrases to me, which are fuzzy now. I can't really remember what he was saying, but I found the phrases he was saying to be extremely odd.
Okay, can you, obviously can't remember them, but in what way odd? Like they were nonsensical, or they weren't, like, he was talking about where's the can opener, you know?
Yeah, they were, like, things that didn't make sense. Sometimes they were, like, yeah, stuff like that, like, where's the can opener? Sometimes they were just, like, weird things. Like, you wouldn't expect a killer to say, like, those certain things to you.
Wow.
So.
All right. Well, Freud would say that the killer represents some kind of negative, animalistic side of your unconscious mind, of your id, some sort of negative part of your id, some kind of part that you're afraid of, or the part of you that's horrible and damaging and evil and all that, or not necessarily evil, but sort of the uncontrollable part of you. And running away means that you're trying to get away from that part of you. And yet, but you still don't know how. And yet maybe, and also I would say that the people in it are maybe people that you're afraid that your horrible side of yourself will affect them. And you're trying to warn them, like, look, stay away from this part of myself, you know. And actually, this is great advice for the kids at home, too, is a way to interpret your dream. Because remember, everything in the dream is actually a part of you.
Right.
You kind of have this impression that, no, I'm in this world. You're not actually in a world. Everything in the dream. So as you tell the dream out, when you say it to yourself, maybe do this in the journal, what you say is, this is the part of myself. And then you tell the plot, but you start it all with, this is the part of myself. So this is the part of myself that's a serial killer. This is the part of myself that's my house. This is the part of myself that runs away. This is the part of myself that worries about friends. This is the part of myself that is the friends. This is the part of myself that says nonsensical things. This is the part of myself that doesn't understand nonsensical things. And then that you get a better interpretation of the dream. Now, obviously, I'm doing it for you, so it's not the same experience of actually saying it yourself and really getting the, oh, wow, aspect of it. Do you have another dream or something, or a common, do you have any recurring dreams or recurring themes? Like something that comes up a lot?
Comes up a lot. Recurring dreams. Let me think. They're usually just, like, either they're memories, like, from when I was little that I liked, or
that
like
recurs, that keeps coming up.
Sure, and or they're just like fantasies that I want to play out or something, like becoming the president, or like
it's all ENFJ megalomaniac.
Yeah,
stuff.
or like being a pro soccer player,
right.
Or like.
How many times have you had the pro soccer player one?
That one I have a lot.
Really?
I like soccer, so that one I have a lot.
Do you play?
Yeah, I play for fun. I used to play for a team.
Oh wow! All right, so it's something you do.
Yeah, I like soccer.
All right, so the next time you have a soccer dream, this is what you should do. You say, "So, all right, I want you to do it." So, say what I said. This is the
part of myself that's a pro soccer player.
Yes, this is good. What else? Be specific.
This is the part of myself that is talented.
Yeah.
This is the part of myself that brings joy to others.
Sure. This is the part of myself that gets a goal.
Okay.
This is the part, and then you get an abstract with it. This is the part of myself that is the goal. Because that's part of you too, like the netting. That's not actually netting, right? It's all part of you. So this is the part of myself that is the goal. This is the part of myself that's Megatron in the audience. This is the part of myself where the whole audience cheers. Whatever it is that goes on. This is the part of myself that's the opponent. If there's another team.
And
assuming there's another team on there.
Yeah. Then what is a part of myself? What does that accomplish?
Okay, then when you do that, you start realizing, first of all, that everything in the dream is a part of you. And then you could see how all these parts relate to each other, as opposed to a movie. See, the problem is people see their dreams as movies, and so you feel there's sort of this compartmentalization that goes on where you think you're separate from it, the way you would be watching a movie. But you're not. Everything in there is a part of you representing something from you, everything, no matter what it is. The clothes, everything. So you get more of an understanding of the meaning of the dream in terms of all these parts are part of you representing something about you. So it's good to do.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we finish?
Does it make a difference that the serial killer in my dream looked like Scream?
This is the part of myself that is Scream. This is the part of myself that wears the mask. This is the part of myself that likes that movie. This is the part of myself that's scared of that movie. This is the part of myself that worries I am that guy. Or this is the part of myself that is that guy. Yeah. No, see, then it gets uncomfortable. That's where it gets, we start resisting. We start going into denial. This is why you need Freud. All right. Well, thanks, Josh. That was good.
Thank you.